Joined on the TV side by SEC Network Plus tonight, so we will have a bit of a different look as far as our audience goes, which should be a lot of fun as we venture into this one. Gators and Ospreys just moments away from start. Okamic at the University of Florida is participating with the Florida Gators for Home Runs for Hope, donating $25 for every Gators home run to support the Alzheimer's Association. So far this season, they have donated $625 thanks to Okamic for helping knock Alzheimer's out of the park. Let's go ahead and take a look at the starting lineups as Florida goes through them on the field today in the white Dodger jerseys, orange pants, blue and orange stirrups. For the North Florida Ospreys in a bright blue, almost teal uniform today. Hallie Langford, a familiar name, is the wife of former Gator All-American and MLB star in Wyatt Langford. Leads off. It's 4:05 this year as we welcome in our SEC Network Plus TV audience. Addie Keefe is the designated player. She'll bat second for North Florida. Grace Shaw is in right field. She'll bat third. Bella Semino, the transfer from Florida Atlantic, bats cleanup and plays short. Kaden Oliva is the catcher batting fifth. Hannah Davila is at third base batting sixth. Aiden Allen is at first batting seventh. Kelsey Vogel is at second batting eighth with Kaylin McCarthy out in left field and in the ninth spot. In the flex spot is the right-hander Taylor Cook for North Florida as we take a look at the Gators' defensive alignment.
Gators fans, here is the defensive alignment for the Florida Gators today, brought to you by Father and Son Fence Supply, covering all of North Central Florida's fencing needs. Call 352-855-1106 to receive your quote today from Father and Son Fence Supply. Outfield left to right, Cassidy McClellan, Townsend Thomas, and Taylor Shoemaker. Infield from first to third, Madison Walker is replaced actually there by Ava Brown. Two homers, but those strikeout numbers are up this year. Rothrock, 2.48 ERA, 5-0 this season. This is her seventh start. She's thrown 2 complete games, plus a save, 31 innings, 21 hits, 8 walks to 43 Ks, nearly already at the halfway mark to her strikeout total from her sophomore campaign.
This is a Gators team offensively. We talked about it in the pregame Nevada that has really lit it up. Bullpen, too, has looked very deep this year, and if the Gators are going to make a run behind Keegan Rothrock, they're going to need that kind of depth, and Florida's had it, whether it's been Leah Stevens, Olivia Miller, Ava Brown. There's been a lot of contributions from that Florida pitching staff side.
Yeah, it's we look back 2 years ago to it was Keegan Rothrock to the moon in the Women's College World Series, and slowly Tim Walton has built this pitching staff into one that is composed of so many different pieces that can fulfill several different roles.
Gators and Ospreys set to meet once more in KSP, the 19th all-time meeting. Gators swept both meetings last year 8-0 in 5 innings. UF has run-ruled 4 straight in this series. Only one time has it gone to extras. That was that 2015 National Championship season. As Langford climbs in for North Florida to face Keegan Rothrock, one of the stars in the SEC, the Ospreys receiving votes in the latest polls. Florida, of course, the number 4 team in the country. Tennessee, the latest number 1, according to the new NFCA poll, number 5 in the ESPN polls. Our umpiring crew today, Anthony Smalls behind home, Jose Chaparro is at first, and Miguel Burgos is at third. Langford will climb in, a 4.05 hitter to face Keegan Rothrock. The Ospreys off to their best start in Division I history for their program. Rothrock deals the first. And we are underway outside, ball 1. 6:02 Eastern start time, actually 5 seconds early, moving with a little bit of giddy up today. He's Nevada Cullen, I'm Ryan Urquhart. Big shout out to those watching along on SEC Network Plus today with our radio simulcast. Rothrock will spin a 1-0. And that pops the mid-high. That's ball 1. Keegan Rothrock, last week for Florida, Gators 12-0, went undefeated at the Florida Classic. Went 13 1/3, led the staff, had 21 Ks. As the 2-0 is upstairs, that's ball 3. So quickly, 3 out of the zone for Keegan Rothrock. Rothrock will send in a 3-0 pitch. That pops in for a strike. Keegan gets over, has a rise at 2 different speeds, a curve, a change, and a drop. Does have a rare screw. Has added an extra wrinkle to her rise ball in the offseason. 3-1 to Langford. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Big growth point according to this coaching staff. Her starting to understand and trust her stuff second, third time through the order. First time through, just underway in the first. Here's a payoff pitch. Langford caught a piece as it came by. But this coaching staff overall happy with her progress. The strikeout rate has been, frankly, through the roof for Keegan Rothrock. Payoff pitch. That's low, and Langford will walk to start the day for North Florida.
Yeah, this is a player in Hallie Langford who Coach Conrad's very high on as a player that can be the leadoff hitter for a super regional team. That's the goal for this UNF squad, who got to a region final last year before bowing out in Columbia to South Carolina.
A historic season, 47 wins for the Ospreys. Of course, graduated Allison Benning and then came out game 1 this year, run-ruled the Auburn Tigers in their opener. Already 1 SEC win under their belt as Addie Keefe will step in. Swing and a miss at the first. Keefe, a junior, transfer from Chattanooga State Community College. His coaching staff's been over the moon with her. Is that even better than we envisioned she was going to be? On a 1. Lays down a bunt, third base side. Grover's got it. And the sacrifice is successful for the Ospreys. Moves Langford into scoring position.
Yeah, we talked with Jeff Conrad, head coach, 4th year at North Florida, about, facing a team like Florida, and he put it plainly. You're not going to get given anything, so they're going to have to produce runs and find a way, because they know Florida always great defensively.
Brings in Grace Shaw. That's upstairs for ball 1. No score in this top of the first inning. And for those just tuning in, we are on a radio simulcast today, also being carried by our friends on SEC Network Plus. 1-0 to Shaw. Pops the mitt and misses for ball 2. And North Florida cannot have gotten off to a better start. 8-game win streak coming in, but this is their first true road game of the year. Preseason favorites in the ASUN polls is a lot of the zone early for Keegan Rothrock, and this is likely just kind of a settle-down reset conversation from veteran catcher Jocelyn Erickson.
Yeah, maybe not the toughest schedule to start for the Ospreys, but you don't get tougher than an SEC opponent to start the year, and they did that. They scheduled Auburn at home to begin the season, an 11-3 win in 5 innings for the Ospreys.
2-0 pops in for a strike. Whatever Jossie said, as she's known around the Gator dugout, worked. It's 2-1. Is hacked on for strike 2.
Nice rise from Rothrock there. Went high and away. Starting to settle in here, slowly but surely.
Keegan Rothrock, third-team All-American in 2024. 2-2. Swing and a foul back. Will stay 2 balls, 2 strikes. A rare product in Keegan Rothrock. Last year, 3.24 ERA, has been stellar to this point in the non-con. Langford at second with 1 gone, a 2-2 to Shaw. Inside corner, strike 3, the first of the night for Keegan Rothrock.
Went fastball there, went to velocity, dialed it up. Keegan with 72, right on the block. That's a perfect pitch. And a nice comeback for her after giving up a walk, then the sac bunt to come with the strikeout then of Shaw.
Brings in Bellisamino, who takes a strike on the first. This is one of the blockbuster transfers in what was a top 10 transfer portal class for Jeff Conrad, his 4th season. He's brought this program to new heights, trying to take the next step. 0-1. There's a strike. It's 0-2. Keegan Rothrock one strike away from getting out of this inning unscathed. Bella Semino, second teamer in the American Conference, was a .316 hitter last year. On 0-2. Semino takes up and away, ball one. Wanted to find a program where she could return to shortstop, a position where she feels a little bit more comfortable by trade, allows her to focus on her hitting more. 1-2 en route. Outside corner this time for strike three. Keegan's cooking up back-to-back Ks. And in the middle of one, we are scoreless. North Florida leaves the walk stranded in scoring position. Gators to the plate for the first time today when we come back to Gainesville.
Need better internet?
Has been serving North Florida since 1964, and we're proud to be the official sign provider of the Florida Gators. From custom signs and lighting to vinyl graphics, wraps, and repairs, we handle it all. Count on us to bring your brand to life with quality signs that get noticed. He's Nevada Cullen. I'm Ryan Urquhart. We make our way to the bottom of the first. Give you the starting lineup and defensive alignment as we go. Taylor Shoemaker will lead off. Faced off tonight against Taylor Cook, 3.10 ERA. Her full line in just a moment. Jocelyn Erickson is on deck, the catcher behind the right fielder, as Cook will settle in for her first. That's a rise ball upstairs. Rest of the starting lineup, Kendall Grover's at third base batting third. Kenley Cahalan's at short batting fourth. Ava Brown is switching to the first baseman spot at the plate, will bat fifth. Cassidy McClellan's in left batting sixth. As that's up and outside, ball two. Madison Walker is the designated player in that switch. She'll bat seventh. Gabby Camilla's at second, batting eighth. Towson Thomas is in the 9-hole in center field. Keegan Rothrock in the flex spot. Cook's 2-0 is inward. Shoemaker swings, rams one out to second. And Vogel to Allen for the first out of the inning.
Defense for UNF, McCarthy, Langford, and Shaw left to right in the outfield. Then first to third on the infield to Allen, Vogel, Semino, and Davila. Oliva doing the catching for Cook and Taylor Cook. Ryan mentioned the 3.1 ERA.
It's upstairs for a ball, 1-0. No score in this bottom of the first.
Cook 20 and a third. That leads North Florida. 17 hits, 6 walks to 16 strikeouts. Got a 2-0 record. This is her fifth start.
1-0. Erickson jabs her foot. That's outside, ball two. Jocelyn Erickson's had a fun start to her senior season. Steps in 447 overall in her average. Will face 2-0. Erickson takes a strike. It's 2-1. Erickson last week across the JU games and the Florida Classic, 455 in her average. 2 homers, 9 RBI. 2-1. That's upstairs, ball three. Cook having trouble with the zone, just a tad. Last year didn't see a ton of pitches to hit. Elected as one of the 2 team captains alongside Ava Brown, a 3-1. Erickson will take inside, ball 4. For Jocelyn Erickson, that's career walk 108. She's at first with 1 gone.
Yeah, patient at bat there. It is looks on to be a smaller zone from Anthony Small, the home plate umpire tonight, and Erickson takes advantage.
No score in this bottom of the first brings in Kendall Grover. And the first pitch is a strike to her. Jocelyn Erickson, a first, reigning NFCA Player of the Week, Kendall Grover. Her numbers simply ridiculous last week. She earned every bit of the award. On a 1. That's upstairs. Ball and a strike. Grover hit 5 home runs in a single week across 7 games. Knocked in 14, most of any Gator in that stretch. That'll earn you the award. 1-1. Grover swats one off foul to the screen. It's 1-2. Transfer from Eastern Illinois, 2-time OVC Player of the Year. Played over 140 career games in her time there. And Coach Walton called it in the preseason. He often does. Said she can really hit. Has been able to turn her dial up a bit. And really what she provides in this 3 spot for Florida is that extra protection for Jocelyn Erickson. Said teams are going to choose to pitch to her. And we saw that this past weekend in the Georgia Tech game. Oh, 1-2. Grover lets that sail out, 2-2.
In that Georgia Tech game, Grover 2 for 3, a couple RBI and a homer. That was on Sunday. Last 3 games, she's driven in 10.
2-2. Grover gets a hold of this into left, falling fast, and it's fair. Kendall Grover has the first hit of the ball game. It's a 1-out single in the first, 2-on for Florida.
Deceptively loud contact there from Kendall Grover. You heard the contact. It sounded like it was going a long way. Instead, it ducked in front of McCarthy, tucked inside the left field foul line, and, you know, off the end of the bat, but she'll take it. It's another hit for the reigning National Player of the Week.
First toss to Cahalan. That's outside for ball 1. No score in this bottom of the first inning. We are on a radio simulcast tonight, just kind of a reset for everybody. Welcome into our friends on SEC Network Plus. Also on the radio side as well. A 1-0. Cahalan, slight turn at it, will let that fade, ball 2. And Kenleigh Cahalan moving up into that 4 spot. Talk about a great start for her. 46 in her average, 4 homers, 19 RBI. This 2-0 is a strike over the inner half. And overall, Florida offensively, Nevada, just putting up crazy numbers right now, leading the nation with 131 hits. Average slugging, both top 5. OBP is top 6. 2-1. Cahalan swats this off foul. But Florida has really come out strong on the offensive side. Several double-digit scoring days in the Florida Classic and multiple run rule victories.
Yeah, it's ironic. We talked to Jeff Conrad about North Florida lengthening their lineup. Well, Florida 1 through 9 got to be the best in the country.
2-2. Cahalan off the handle, up and back. That's what's so interesting tonight is this is a big kind of sneaky matchup almost amongst the softball world with how good North Florida has been to start their year. Would be about 27th in the NFCA poll. First of 2 games across 2 days. Here's a 2-2. Cahalan gets a hold of this one on a fly ball, but it's well foul up the right field line.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's sleeping on North Florida, not after what they did on opening night. That was to start the softball season. The news heard around the softball world, their win over Auburn.
On 2-2. Cahalan will take that's ball 3, and that Auburn team, no slouch. They turned around, beat a top 5 Clemson team, had a solid opening weekend of the NFCA Classic. Tigers' second year under Chris and Kate Malveaux trying to make some noise.
Says more about UNF than Auburn.
Payoff pitch. Cahalan floats one out to short, and Cimino has got it on the infield fly, second out of the inning.
Nice pitch there by Cook. Went in on the hands of Cahalan. Taylor Cook not backing down from this tough Gator lineup. Jeff Conrad says she's got a high spin rate, worked more on a backdoor pitch, and has honed in on her changeup as well.
First 2, Ava Brown with 2 on. That's outside, ball 1. 2 outs in this bottom of the first inning. No score. Gators in North Florida. 19th all-time meeting between these two. Shaped up to be a good one as we were talking about. Gators have run ruled in 4 straight. 1-0. That skips home. Oliva behind the dishes there. UNF has never beaten the Florida Gators. Florida's 18-0 all-time in this series. Now led by Jeff Conrad, the Ospreys are. 2-0 toss. Brown takes a strike. It's 2-1. And Conrad has been on this staff for 10 years, the head coach for the Ospreys. Led them to, of course, that historic win, or that historic season last year. 2-1. Brown takes up an in, ball 3. Ava Brown, 333 in her average, has knocked 3 out of the yard, has also knocked in 12. Has also produced a ton of walks. 3-1. This is bashed on one hop. A third will go the easy way. Davila just puts her foot on the bag, retires Erickson, and the side as well. Gators in that inning, no runs on a hit, no errors, and 2 left aboard. We'll see you in the second. Florida and UNF deadlocked at 0-0.
It's time to act for the greater good. UF and GFL.
Meeting once again in KSP. He's Nevada Cullen. I'm Brian Urquhart. Happy you could join us on this simulcast on the radio and TV side tonight. Well, so far a fairly quiet start to this one. North Florida got a walk on base in the first. Langford was left stranded. Gators a little bit of motion on the base path, so a single, 2 left stranded in the home half. Now 2 strikeouts for Keegan Rothrock. Still looking the part and really now taking a different role on this staff now as an upperclassman.
Yeah, and she looked excellent in that first inning after the walk, got the sacrifice bunt, and then back-to-back looking Ks of Sean Cimino, 2 very tough hitters with inside fastballs.
Here comes Caden Oliva. First pitch is up into the screen, 0-1, no score in this top of the second inning. Oliva, a .357 average, no home runs, has knocked in 8 this year.
Yeah, including last game against Stony Brook on Sunday. Had the 8th inning RBI single to win it, walk it off.
On the next, comes on 0-1. That one darts in with some velo at 66. It's a ball, 1-1.
And Oliva's just one of several of these transfers that have just stepped up right away for Jeff Conrad.
1-1 pitch. Oliva will take. That's ball 2 upstairs. Oliva catcher, good on the offensive profile according to this coaching staff. One of the best they've seen in 10 years. 2-1. Oliva gets a piece, 2-2. Comes in on a 4-game hit streak. Has had 3 multi-RBI games in that stretch. The Troy transfer.
And it's interesting, too, because she wasn't catching for Troy, and that was the case in the portal. Is Jeff Conrad went out and got players that actually get to play their position now at UNF.
2-2. Swing and a miss. That's strike 3. Drop third strike. Jocelyn Erickson's got the throw to first. That's a third straight for Keegan Rothrock. She's in a groove.
Yeah, awesome off speed right there. She's showing that she's able to throw multiple speeds today, 2 or 3 speeds, and control them. She can have a dominant outing if she continues to control 3 speeds over the course of the night.
Here's Hannah Davila, with Georgia transfer, experience in the SEC. First pitch is up and away for ball 1. Davila, 1 home run, has knocked in 6, has also picked up a double on a 1-0. That's flared up and back. It's 1-1. A 3-ribby game against Stony Brook. There are 2 years at Georgia. Prior to this one, 62 games. Only started a couple across those 2 seasons.
Had a couple of bats here last year in the Gainesville Super Regional.
Ball and a strike is sent in. That skips home, 2-1. Rothrock will deal on 2-1. This is hammered into right center and over Townsend's head and up to the pads. Cruising into second with a stand-up double is Hannah Davila. And all of a sudden, first hit for North Florida, second straight inning. They've had one in scoring position.
Just got a pitch she could drive right there, and Davila did not miss it. Look, this is a player that Jeff Conrad said was one of their major gets in the portal with interest from softball powers across the country. Some Power 4 schools wanted Davila, and he was able to lure her to Jacksonville, and it is paying off early.
Here's Aiden Allen. First is a strike. Well, this is where if you're North Florida, you got to capitalize. You're on the road taking on a top 5 team. Have a runner in scoring position for an 0-1. Allen swats this back, 0-2 behind in the count. But when you're playing on the road, Nevada, you just have to take advantage because you don't know when the next time you're going to get these many opportunities.
Right, had a runner in scoring position with 1 out in the first, couldn't take advantage there.
0-2. This is laser to first. Brown's got it, throw to second in time for the double play. Florida's 3rd double play of this young season ends the top of the second.
Just awesome defense by Florida. As, look, this team's always going to defend well. Right place, right time, and heads-up play to throw it to second base by Walker to turn 2.
The old classic 3-6 double play takes us to the middle of 2. No score. Gators back at the plate when we return. We go tonight on this Tuesday from KSP. First of 2 games between North Florida and the Florida Gators on our radio simulcast tonight on SEC Network Plus. Cassidy McClellan will lead off for Florida. Gators in this inning will send 6, 7, and 8. It's Cassidy McClellan, Madison Walker, and Gabby Comia to face Taylor Cook, who spins the first. She'll take a strike. It's 0-1. We saw this trend a little bit through the Florida Classic Nevada. Gators first time through the order at times, finding their rhythm. 0-1. McClellan shaves this off into foul territory. Davila's got it first out of the inning, but second time through these Gators, they're very good at making adjustments, and that's where a lot of the explosive innings have come from.
Right, we were together a week ago in Jacksonville when Florida faced Jacksonville University, nothing doing in the top 2. We get to the 3rd, all of a sudden they put up 14 in that inning. So you're right, good in-game adjustments help this offense.
First to Walker, that's upstairs for a ball. Gators so far just the lone single in the first. Madison Walker was one of the big transfer pickups for this Florida program. 1-0. rises high, ball 2. No score in this bottom of the second inning. Spent 2 years at Missouri, 18 home runs, led the team with 48 RBI. Was third in the SEC last year in long balls. 2-0. Walker got a piece, 2-1. She had a multi-homer game off of formerly Jordy Ball, now Jordy Fromm. 2 homers, 6 ribbies that day against the Cornhuskers. 2-1 to Walker. That's low, ball 3. Walker this year as a Gator got her first Gator home run this past weekend at the Florida Classic. Averages up at 409, earned the start tonight in the 7th spot. 3-1. Up and in, that's ball 4. Madison Walker will, walk for the 5th time this year. And it brings in Gabby Camilla with 1 out in the inning.
Same thing that happened in the first inning. An out, then a walk. Rover followed Erickson with a hit. So Gators looking to string together another 1-out rally and get something going offensively.
Well, Taylor Cook in just a little bit of trouble for North Florida. Here's Camilla. And the first is upstairs. Scoreless bottom of the second here. Taylor Cook making just her 5th start of the season tonight, the Moore Park, California native. Really high spin rate. Still working on that backdoor curve. 1-0. Camilla will take. That's something that Jeff Conrad talked about with us, is the development of this pitching staff. Taylor Cook is also developing a changeup, and a lot of that is from all these pitchers inspired by Allison Benning. 2-0. Camilla will take a strike there. But last year, seeing how effective she was with that change, now a lot of the pitchers on this year's staff trying to develop a similar pitch just because of how effective it can be at keeping hitters off balance. 2-1. Camilla swats this to shorts. Cimino, and no connection with Vogel. Second and third for the orange and blue with 1 out in the second.
That's a very tough play for Cimino, who's a sure-handed shortstop. But on that occasion, it's hit towards the 5-6 hole. And with Camilla's speed, the only play is to second to get Walker because she's the slower runner than Camilla. And because she dropped to her knees, that's a really tough play, and she couldn't get 1 out there.
Brings in Townsend Thomas. On the first pitch, twists one all the way to the wall. The easiest 2 runs of her life. A stand-up double gets the Gators on the board. They're up 2-0. Way past McCarthy, the Defensive Player of the Year in the A-Sun. North Florida was cheating into the outfield, and Townsend Thomas made him pay in the 9-hole.
Yeah, Coach Conrad pointed out to us, McCarthy, one of the best ball trackers in the country. There was nothing she could do there because by the time she took a step, the ball was by her. That was absolutely blasted by Townsend Thomas. And a week ago, we saw her clear the bases with a double. This time it's a 2 RBI 2-bagger for Townsend.
4th double this year. Here's Shoemaker. And that's a strike. And I think, too, you like the aggression, right? Going for the first pitch. Not wasting any time. And that's good communication, too, between the batters. Thomas with some speed at second, 2 and 0-1. That's outside the zone, ball and a strike.
Yeah, and you can tell Townsend's just looking a little more confident. 4-game hit streak now. Had her first career bomb against FIU on Saturday. And with that swing attacking first pitch against Cook, it's clear she is more confident now.
1-1. Shoemaker lifts off into center. And just shy of the necessary 220. Thomas will tag and go to third. So it's a productive fly out for Taylor Shoemaker. And just 60 feet away from a third run with Jocelyn Erickson coming up 2 out.
What do you think the odds are this season that we see Townsend Thomas score from second on a fly ball to the outfield?
Not 0.
Not in this field. Yeah, it's not 0. I agree. So speedy.
So Thomas at third with 2 outs. Gators up 2-0 on a 2-run double for Townsend Thomas. RBI is 11 and 12 this year for her. Taylor Cook trying to get out without more damage. Pitch. Erickson on the first, meshes it through the right side. Thomas will cruise in. A 2-out ribby single for Jocelyn Erickson. Makes it 3-0 Florida.
Exactly what the Gators wanted to do against Cook. They wanted to attack low in the zone. That one was belt high to Erickson, and she did not miss it. Not the hardest hit ball that we'll see from Jossie all season, but an RBI nonetheless.
It's 3-0 Florida. And the first pitch to Grover is outside the zone. Gators 3 runs in this inning off of a 2-run double and an RBI single just now on 2 outs from Jocelyn Erickson. And Kendall Grover, reigning NFCA Player of the Week, already a hit in this game. 1-0. And she lifts one into foul territory. First base side, this will carry out of the yard. I was talking with Coach Walton in the pregame. Said this week NFCA people took notice, but almost wanted it to be the best kept secret for this team right now, the protection they have behind Jocelyn Erickson. Hard to hide when you hit 4 home runs in 24 hours. Here's a 1-1. That's outside the zone, 2 balls and a strike. But I think the word protection really extends and stretches this lineup so much. Just a ton of confidence for an offense that's leading the nation in total hits. 2-1. Grover lifts one high and playable. Outside of the left field line, in is McCarthy, the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, and the Asun makes the squeeze to retire the side, but not before the Gators get 3 runs. Comes off of 2 hits in the inning, no errors, 1 left on base. We will see you in the 3rd. It's Florida by 3 on the Gators Sports Network from Learfield.
Better internet? Trophies will be awarded.
Back in Gainesville, we head to the top of the 3rd inning. It's number 4 Florida by 3, number 5 in the ESPN polls. Keegan Rothrock back in the circle for the Florida Gators. She had 3 straight strikeouts across the 1st and the 2nd. Those the Quality Plumbing K's of the game. Quality Plumbing providing the highest level of plumbing services throughout the greater North Florida region since 1984. And for some great play-by-play in the 3rd and the 4th, it's Nevada Cullen.
Thanks, Ryan. 8-9-1. Vogel, McCarthy, and Langford to bat for the Ospreys against Keegan Rothrock, who has allowed 1 hit in her first 2 innings of work on this Tuesday night in Gainesville. First of 7 games this week for Florida. And the first pitch from Rothrock is hammered in the sky to left field. Medium deep for McClellan. Makes the put away for out number 1 on pitch number 1 of the 3rd.
Efficiency, oh so important, right? You always want to get hitters out in an efficient way, but especially with this 8-9-1 combo, last thing you want to do is open the door for the Ospreys to go second time through with runners on base.
Kaylin McCarthy up next, left-handed hitter against the righty Rothrock. 3-0 Florida in the top of the 3rd with 1 out. First from Rothrock. McCarthy takes ball 1 just high and away. And that's something that Tim Walton has spoken about before the season and during the season, is he wants Keegan to be able to get those quick, cheap outs. That's something that she hasn't gotten in her first 2 years very often. Her 1-0. McCarthy fouls it off to the left, 1-1. But because Keegan's got such great swing and miss stuff, hitters are going up there fighting for their lives, fighting off pitches. And this year we're finally starting to see not only the strikeouts tick back up for Keegan, but a few more cheap outs. 1-1. Rothrock wheels and deals. McCarthy runs at it, swings through, strike 2. Kaylin McCarthy, 2026 ASUN preseason defensive player of the year. We've already talked about that. But in this 9-hole, Jeff Conrad, 4th-year head coach of North Florida, just wants her to get on base because she's a dynamic runner. 1-2 toss. Outside corner, strike 3. Rothrock finds the corner with 65. It's her 4th strikeout, and there's 2 down here in the 3rd.
And Keegan just looks really comfortable at times, especially in this early part of the non-con. That was a really good delivery there, and a great out pitch from Keegan. Quickly get 2 down from 8-9.
Brings up the leadoff hitter, Hallie Langford. First to her, drifts high, 1-0. 3-0 Florida over North Florida with 2 outs in the top of the third. Langford returning to Florida after a brief stint with Mercer for 2 years, playing for former Gator Lindsay Fico. Swings and misses at 1-0.
There you go.
And Hallie is the wife of Gator legend Wyatt Langford. Too soon to call him a legend? I don't think so.
I think he's a legend around these parts.
First team All-American in 2023 for the baseball team. 1-1, zips outside 2-1. Wyatt, of course, drafted by the Rangers, and we were talking to Coach Conrad. He says that Wyatt has been around the program this past week before he went to spring training in Arizona. And now UNF will go to Arizona. 2-1. That's way downstairs, 3-1. And they'll play Grand Canyon. They'll play some other teams out in Phoenix. And Hallie will get to reunite with husband Wyatt, the former Gator. Keegan's 3-1. Langford bounces it to first off the chest of Walker. Running Camilla gets to the bag in time for the flip from Walker for out number 3. It's a 1-2-3 top of the third inning for Keegan Rothrock, who has pitched 3 straight scoreless innings to start this game. Heading to the home third, it's 3-0 Florida over North Florida.
Time to act for the greener good. UF.
Home third from KSP, number 4, number 5 per ESPN Florida, leading North Florida 3-0. I'm Nevada Cullen, that's Ryan Urquhart. Gators will send 4, 5, and 6 to the plate against Taylor Cook, right-handed pitcher against the lefty Cahalan to start this bottom of the third. Week 3 of the softball season is here. Week 2 featured an excellent tournament in Clearwater. It was really fun to watch that on ESPN. ESPN2 and ACC Network, SEC Network. A lot of good games, a lot of top 25 teams were there. First pitch, Cahalan into and out of the glove of Allen, the first baseman, and Cahalan's able to beat that out. First pitch attack again for Florida, and Cahalan on that line drive to first, drop by Allen, reaches, and we wait for the ruling.
Yeah, you know, it's funny you have those two plays almost mirrored right next to each other. The devil's always in the details, and for Florida, you see them execute that play to end the prior inning. North Florida, not quite the same snappiness here in this inning. That's something you can focus on in a head coach, and it's always great when you have a nice teaching tool right next to that to show that's how you got to execute that with that sort of giddy-up.
It is ruled a single for Kenley Cahalan as Cook calls time twice before Brown digs back in. So runner on first for Florida. First pitch to Brown is high. It's the first time the Gators have gotten the leadoff hitter aboard.
The other thing, too, is Coach Conrad for North Florida had talked about how he's connected with Coach Walton as a mentor.
1-0. Brown pops it up. Left side of the infield. Cimino and Davila. And it's Cimino, the shortstop, who puts it away. Makes a squeeze for out number 1.
And was looking for, the coaching advice, especially trying to now take over this program last couple of years. And some of the wisdom came from what they do in scrimmages, but he had complimented Florida's defensive play so much, how they don't give you those free runners, those extra outs, and kind of made an example there.
First to McClellan, lashed to left field and deep. It is out of here. Two-run bomb by Cassidy McClellan, an Oppo Taco for a 5-0 Gator lead.
And that thing was crushed out to left field. Great timing by Cassidy McClellan. Just found a pitch to hit and took it all the way, the necessary 200 into left. Absolutely teed off, and when you give somebody like Cassidy McClellan, now her third home run, that kind of daylight, she's going to take advantage. And, man, what a year Cassidy McClellan has had after the ups and downs with injury her first 2 years and, having trouble finding the lineup. It's a big home run there.
Here's Madison Walker, first pitch swinging again, fouls it off to the right. One out here in the bottom of the third, 5-0 Florida over North Florida.
That's a growing trend, too, as those first pitch hacks against Taylor Cook are proving really effective.
And for Cassidy McClellan, that's another opposite field home run. As Walker hits one sharply on the ground at third, one hop for Davila, and she throws it to first in time after recollecting for out number 2. But McClellan homers now in 3 straight games, and her homer against Georgia Tech was a go-ahead solo shot in the 4th inning on Sunday. That was to left center, so we're noticing McClellan going to the opposite field time and time again, showing power the other way. Clear she loves a backside boogie. First pitch to Gabby Comia is in at the knees for a strike, 0-1.
I'm a man who loves alliteration. I won't lie to you.
Oh, there's nothing
that's one of my favorites.
There's nothing I love more than a backside boogie, showing some power the other way. Comia chopper to first, one hop into the mid of Allen for out number 3. A big 2-run homer by Cassidy McClellan, her 3rd game in a row with a long ball, and the Gators are up 5-0 heading to the 4th here from Gainesville.
Need better internet? College athletics.
Gator fans, visit the Harn Museum of Art located across the street from the stadium. Admission is free. Multiple exhibitions are currently on view, featuring Florida artworks, contemporary photography, Ghanaian fashion, Japanese prints, and more. The Harn is open until 9 p.m. every Thursday for Art After Dark. Free food, wine, beer, activities, and performances are offered on select Art After Dark Thursdays. Learn more at harn.ufl.edu. 5-0 Florida over North Florida as we start the 4th. Here from Katie Seashole Presley Stadium, I'm Nevada Cohen alongside Ryan Urquhart. 2, 3, and 4 due up for the Ospreys against Keegan Rothrock. 3 scoreless so far for Keegan tonight.
Yeah, she's pitched really well in this outing, and of course Florida will need her to be at that kind of level to compete for an SEC championship this year, but that's the big thing, right? You go into your junior year, there's more expectations on you as a leader.
First pitch of the inning to the lefty Keefe is just outside.
But in talking with Keegan Rothrock before the season, she had mentioned how her teammates compliment her so well. She's someone who's a little bit more soft-spoken, and her leadership sometimes by action.
1-0. Keefe runs at ball 2, just off the plate.
But being able to be herself, that's a big factor in her success and getting to show up in her way.
2-0 toss. Keefe takes inside 3-0. Yeah, it's an adjustment every year for Keegan Rothrock. Year 1, how do you adjust to college softball as a freshman, thrust into the leadership role right away in terms of the load that she managed, throwing 262 innings. 3-0 at the knees for a strike, 3-1. Last year, how do you deal with sophomore struggles? It happens to everyone. And this year, it's, how do you bounce back from that? And you're a junior now. You are one of the leaders of this pitching staff, her 3rd year. 3-1. Rothrock just misses off the plate with 65, so it's a 5-pitch walk to Keefe to start the 4th.
But I think, too, the other big challenge for Keegan Rothrock being overcoming some of the injury struggles, right? Last year was on the shelf for about a month with injury, came back in the Auburn series, dealt with another injury in the Women's College World Series, kept her out of the Tennessee game. But Coach Walton had talked about, she's learning a lot about herself. Last year was great, but grew a ton, learning how to manage that, the maturity piece that also is along with that. And never necessarily always 100% when you pitch in this league at this level, but learning how to have that self-awareness and manage that aspect.
A strike at the bottom of the zone, 0-1 to Shaw. Nobody out, Keefe at first. And it's a 5-0 Gator lead here in the top of the 4th. Yeah, I remember Coach Walton making a joke in the post-game presser after the Women's College World Series last year saying, hey, we want to get, Keegan. 0-1 bounced in her glove. Throw to second for 1. Throw to first is late. And so it's a force out at second base. Keefe is retired by a good throw by Keegan Rothrock, and Shaw reaches on the fielder's choice.
It goes 1-4 there, and a little bit of PFP for Keegan Rothrock. And if you can, have that timing down with your infield and be that extra defender, that's where you can turn those extra double plays that can help you get out of innings faster.
Brings up Bella Semino. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Nice pitch from Keegan, 62, diving down below the zone. These two have a bit of history. Last year in the Gainesville Regionals, Semino took Rothrock deep off the pitching lab in left field. 0-1. Semino, opposite field, foul ball, line drive. It's 0-2 out of play. Semino's home run in the Gainesville Regional was a home run to put Florida Atlantic up 3-2 in the 4th versus Florida. Gators, of course, would win that game and go on to the Supers. They would host Georgia and then go to the Women's College World Series. 0-2. Semino taps it foul. But for Semino, that was a big home run because she had also homered against Georgia Tech the day before, and so she became the first Owl in program history to hit multiple homers in a regional appearance.
Yeah, when you think about just the magnitude of the transfer pickup this is for Jeff Conrad trying to reload after last year, it's huge.
0-2 from Rothrock is bounced to short. Cahalan to second for 1. Camilla to first in time. Double play. 6-4-3 twin killing to get Rothrock out of the 4th. And it's 4 scoreless for Keegan here in Gainesville on a Tuesday night. It's 5-0 Florida heading to the home 4th from KSP.
Unexpected happens, you need a legal team that's ready to fight for you, just like the Florida Gators. At Meldon Law, we're proud to partner with
Five 0 Florida, bottom of the 4th here from Gainesville. They lead UNF by 5. Nevada Cohen alongside Ryan Urquhart on this Tuesday night. A nice night. Temperature in the 70s and clear skies here in Gainesville. This is the first of 7 games this week for Florida. They'll do home and away against UNF. So Jacksonville tomorrow. Ryan and I will have you covered at 6 p.m. And then a home tournament with the likes of Lindenwood, Longwood, and Middle Tennessee visiting Gainesville. Here's Townsend Thomas to start this bottom of the 4th. First pitch, bunting, foul of the 3rd base line. Pushed it, and Davila picks it up foul. Townsend Thomas, last time up, 2-run double to left field. The confidence is starting to climb for Townsend.
Yeah, you know, after a bit of an up-and-down weekend in Tampa, of course, had a great game against Michigan, has started to find her stride, had her first career home run this past weekend, already came through today, lifted the lid on the scoring. You're watching the real-time evolution of a quality hitter.
0-1 nearly hits Townsend. She bunts it foul, even further foul, this one into the Florida dugout. That pitch was coming right at her.
And Coach Walton had talked about her growth arc, too. Compared it to Michelle Moultrie. That's not a bad person to be compared to around these parts. Makings of another Gator great.
0-2 toss from Cook. Thomas takes high and away. Yeah, and one thing that Tim Walton always talks about with those stars like Moultrie or Monroe or Lorenz, freshman year, always going to be the worst. You're always going to get better. 1-2. Thomas grounds it past first into right field, base hit. That's a 2-hit game for Townsend. And I think that, you know, it was a slow start for Townsend, but there's no telling, you know, what this season might finish like. And the same with the rest of her career, just a redshirt freshman.
Yeah, and I really like this sequence in the lineup that Coach Walton has constructed with her in the 9-hole. Someone who right now is very efficient at turning it over. And Florida and UNF played in fall ball, was a bit of a tough customer, but Townsend Thomas had a great night. 4 or 5 hits in that game, and Coach Walton's got to be pleased with that.
First to Taylor Shoemaker is high, 1-0. Runner on first, no one out, 5-0 Gators here in the bottom of the 4th inning. That's the third one that Cook has floated like that. That's made her catcher all of a jump. My hunch is that's the changeup right there. 1-0. Shoemaker takes high and away, 2-0. We talked about Allison Benning and her changeup influencing these other pitchers to add the off-speed pitch. Cook's more of a spinner, has the curve, has the screw, and seems to be struggling with whatever that pitch is. The command tonight is not there. 2-0. Shoemaker steps at it, takes just below the knees, 3-0.
And this is where, you know, if you're Taylor Cook, you got to make sure you're making those little adjustments and hitting your spots, because Florida's making their adjustments now, third time through the lineup.
3-0 toss. Shoemaker with the red light takes right down the pipe. Shoemaker 0 for 2 so far. Had a slow start last Tuesday as well at Jacksonville. Best game of the season came on Saturday against FIU, career high 4 hits. 3-1 toss. Shoemaker bounces it to third. Throw to second for 1. Throw to first, not nearly in time to get the speedy Shoemaker. But North Florida gets the lead runner. Thomas is retired, 5-4, and Shoemaker reaches on the fielder's choice. Give some credit to Taylor Cook. She has battled. Florida has attacked her early in counts, and she limited the damage in the first, gave up 3 in the second, 2 in the third. Here's Jocelyn Erickson from the left side. First pitch changeup in there for a strike, 0-1. RBI single her last time, also walked. Friday against Georgia Tech. Erickson a season high 4 hits and 4 RBI, 2 bombs. Bounces this foul of first. 0-2 to the third-year Gator and 2024 National Player of the Year and first-team All-American catcher. As we wait for the ball to come in from right field.
I'm not sure you can ever replicate what Jocelyn Erickson has done. 2-time Gold Glover, SEC Player of the Year.
Another 0-2 off the plate, 1-2.
But Coach Walton had said, I hope she gets her chance at the Olympics. I've never seen anybody be as all-around good as her. One of the most different players he's ever seen. He's seen some greats.
That's way upstairs, 2-2. And Tim Walton says that one of the key pieces of being on that Olympic roster is positional versatility. And he says that Jossie, the everyday catcher, is also one of the best first basemen in the country. We just don't get to see it much. We have seen it briefly. Line drive right back at Cook on 2-2. Runner froze, out at second. Shoemaker is retired, and Erickson reaches on the fielder's choice. Now let's make sure Cook's okay.
That was a comebacker straight at Taylor Cook with some serious velo off Jocelyn Erickson's bat. And I believe it's Jeff Conrad who's going to come check on his starting pitcher. I think just also Bayer a second. Athletic training staff will be out there as well. You get concerned about the hand in moments like this, but good to see her all smiles. Looks to be okay. It's a good sign. This North Florida team that picked favorites in the ASUN has a serious chance to make some real noise this year. Came out, run-ruled Auburn that first game. Best start ever as a Division I program. Only a few games off of their best start ever in school history.
Cook's good to go. Yeah, last year they won every ASUN series. They sweep the conference tourney. They won the regular season. They make it to the region final. They walk off Virginia to get there. First pitch in the dirt to Grover, 1-0. It's a 5-0 Gator lead in the home fourth. 2 outs, runner at first is Erickson. But even after losing Allison Benning, the second team All-American, 1-0. Grover takes upstairs 2-0. Coach Conrad thinks this team could be, and maybe is, more talented than last year's.
Well, yeah, I think, too, when you have a top 10 transfer portal class, that it just does so much for your depth.
2-0. Grover takes off the dish 3-0.
But, ultimately, at the end of the day, too, he talked about this game being a measuring stick because he said, look, this is a Florida team that is not too dissimilar from the kind of team you'll see if you want to make a super regional.
Grover takes outside, 4-pitch walk. So Cook clearly a little rattled after being hit in the glove, but hit by a comebacker by Jocelyn Erickson, a ball that was hit on the screws. Pinch runner, by the way.
They'll get Julia Desiderio to come in. And, Nevada, this is a big spot in the game for North Florida. You're not out of it, only down 5 runs. But, if you leave something hanging for Kenley Cahalan, who's got 4 home runs this year, she represents the run rule territory run.
5-0 Florida, bottom of the 4th inning. They'd love to end it early, the Gators. 2 outs, 2 on for Cahalan. Single her last time. First pitch, hack, flown to left field. Medium deep, now coming in on it to make the catch, McCarthy, for out number 3. So Cook puts up her first 0 since the 1st inning and strands a pair of Gators in the home 4th. Going to the 5th, it's 5-0. Number 5 Florida leads North Florida. This is Florida softball on the Gator Sports Network.
Better internet? Cox Internet has the fast, reliable speeds you're looking for.
Stadium. Back in the circle here at KSP with the Gators up 5-0 in the top of the 5th is Keegan Rothrock for a 5th inning of work. Then back on the mic, here's Ryan Urquhart.
Thanks, Nevada. As you said, we're 5-0 here, top of the 5th inning. Keegan Rothrock back in the circle. 4 innings, only 1 hit allowed, has walked 2 but struck out 4. The spin on her movement, the way the ball is sort of breaking, if you will, or moves around out of her hand has been really good, has kept hitters off balance. And to this point, she has been dialed in. North Florida with some work to do. Kaden Oliva will lead off. She went down swinging to Rothrock in the second, was part of 3 straight that Rothrock retired. Gators, a win tonight, of course, would get them to 13-0, week 3 of this young season. Gators will have one more home tournament coming up this weekend before they go out west. First to Oliva. That's inside for ball 1. Opening day in the SEC will be here before we know it. New top 10 drop today. How about Tennessee going to number 1 in the NFCA poll? Here's a 1-0. Oliva will take inside. That's ball 2.
Knew the Lady Vols pitching staff was going to be there. It's the offense that has surprised. It's one of the best in the country.
Yeah, especially with so many new younger pieces. That was kind of the question mark around Tennessee, but still early in the year, they look good. 2-0. That's a strike, 2-1, and that's probably going to be one of the best series in this ballpark this year. Tennessee will play a 3-game series against Florida. That's blockbuster World Series type stuff.
Right, that's going to be one of the best series, full stop, this season.
Right. Circle that one. 2-1. There's a strike, 2-2. Texas Tech down to 2. Texas 3. Gators 4th. Oklahoma 5th. Florida State, Arkansas, Bama, UCLA, and Nebraska. A couple big wins. They're number 10. 2-2. Oliva shaves this off foul. First base side. Two high-hitting teams today, both North Florida and Florida, with north of 200 hits this year. Already in the early part of the season, they're both top 16 nationally.
Only 9 teams in the country with 10-plus wins. These are 2 of them on this field.
2-2. Oliva takes just underneath, came home with 64. Oliva was a big part of that win over Auburn in the season opener in Jacksonville. 2 for 2 had a ribby and a run scored in that game. We'll face a payoff here. Oliva yoinks one into the screen. Transfer from Troy, one of those additions into this roster for Coach Jeff Conrad. Played in 54 games there. Started 49, was a plus 300 hitter in the Sun Belt. Jocelyn Erickson's going to come have a word with Keegan Rothrock.
Yeah, she was one of those former Tampa Mustangs, played on Tampa Mustangs. Seymour, Reese Green, Caden Camper, the other 2 now on this North Florida roster. That is where Coach Jeff Conrad got his start coaching for Tampa Mustangs, a program where Florida's very familiar with. TJ Gels, the father of Kinsey and Avery, big coach there.
Won some state titles there in their time. Counts full on Oliva still. Here it comes. And that hits her right on the back of the jersey. Leadoff hit by pitch, maybe something for North Florida to build on in the 5th.
Get the leadoff hitter aboard for the 2nd straight inning. Couldn't do anything with it in the 4th thanks to a Gator double play.
So that brings in Hannah Davila. Doubled in her last trip. Poses a little bit of a threat here. Another word from Jocelyn Erickson. Just to kind of reset Keegan Rothrock a little bit. Davila, of course, Nevada had mentioned it earlier, saw some time in the Supers last year when Georgia came to this building. We'll see a pinch runner come in at first base. That is Alyssa Jones, who scored a couple of runs this year, her 7th appearance. Davila in the righty box. Here's Rothrock's first. That's outside ball 1. 5-0 lead for Florida, top of the 5th. Big thanks to all of you tuning in tonight. Big night on campus. Gator basketball just down the way. Gators up 5-0 on the North Florida Ospreys. Rothrock's 1-0. Davila takes inside ball 2. We're simulcasting on SEC Network Plus, so if you're wondering why we sound like we're on radio, well, that's because we are. We're men of many talents up here. 2-0 pitch. There's a strike on the inner half. It's 2-1.
We fit right in with the whole, Gator program, and Tim Walton, prioritizing pitchers who can hit or broadcasters who
there
can.
you go. Versatility. This is a very versatile roster. 2-1 to Davila. This is jammed off into the screen behind her. 2-2. But that's the thing, when you look at this roster, Nevada, it's the smallest in the Power 4, but historically, Coach Walton has never really carried a particularly big roster. But it feels like such a deep team because of how versatile everybody is. You have catchers in the outfield. You have pitchers who play the infield. 2-2. Davila caught a piece. Stays 2 balls, 2 strikes. But you look back at that 2014 team. It was an even smaller roster than this one, and they won a national championship.
Right, because you had, Stacey Nelson who could hit and pitch. You had, in 2015, Alicia Ocasio who could hit and pitch. Now it's Ava Brown, even Keegan Rothrock.
2-2. That misses. Counts full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Keegan was really efficient in the 3rd. Did only face 3 in the 4th. A hit by pitch on her last full count. That was against Oliva. We'll send another here on 3-2. Davila just barely tipped it as it came by. Stays full. 5-0 Florida, top of the 5th. If Gators can keep this margin, they have a chance to end it in 5 with Brown, McClellan, and Walker in the home half. Rothrock's payoff part 2. Davila takes inside ball 4, second free pass of the inning. Osprey's not done yet. They've got a chance here. Stephanie Van Brakel, Prothro, the pitching coach, is going to come out and have a word with the battery, Keegan Rothrock and Jocelyn Erickson.
And this is kind of what we expected from North Florida, some punchiness in these at-bats. Jeff Conrad talked to us about one of the goals in their attack plan against Keegan was to work the count, get deep in counts, and make Keegan get creative, and that's what happened there. Davila, an excellent take on 3-2. That's a great pitch from Keegan, just couldn't get the chase on the inside.
So now Stephanie Van Brakel, Prothro, her second year with this program. Formerly pitching coach and player at Alabama. Great pedigree there in her time with the Crimson Tide. Overall, a staff that, according to all accounts, has really gelled well with Stephanie Van Brakel, Prothro, Rothrock, Ava Brown, Olivia Miller, Mia Stevens, everybody meeting adjourned. And so now the pressure's on the bottom of the North Florida lineup. Aiden Allen will step up. Jones at second, Davila at first. Allen lined into a double play on her last trip. Osprey's looking for another SEC upset. Pitch. Allen wipes through it for strike 1. Sometimes you just need to hit the reset button, 65 miles an hour, and it's strike 1 on the 70th pitch upcoming here. Keegan will settle in and deal. First and second, nobody gone. Here's the 0-1. That wanders up and away. Ball 1. Ball and a strike. Rothrock unleashes. Allen got a hold of this in the air, foul territory. Brown is over, but it hits the tarp. Gators picked up 3 runs in the bottom of the second. Townsend Thomas with a 2-run double, then Erickson, a RBI single. Some infield changes as well. Ava Brown's gone to the bullpen. Madison Walker is back in at first base, by the way. Oh, 1-2. Just wanders wide, 2 balls, 2 strikes. And then McClellan, of course, with the 2-run homer in the bottom of the 3rd. Gators looking for a little separation against North Florida. On a 2-2. Allen rams one out to short. Lead runner got one, back to second, not nearly in time. A good defensive play by Florida. Left side of the infield groundout keeps the situation the same, but puts it out on the board.
Yeah, interesting to see Cahalan go to second there after attacking the bag. I think that was actually the right decision given the runners. I think Davila from first was the slower runner compared to Allen, who was the hitter.
By the way, our apologies. A couple other changes on this Florida infield. Desiderio is at second. Comia has gone to shortstop. And now it is Kenley Cahalan who is playing at third. So just to clarify, with the pinch runner in the prior inning, Desiderio coming in, she stays and plays some defense here. So 1 gone, 2 on for Kelsey Vogel. She takes a strike on the first. 5-0 Florida, top of the 5th inning.
Also, Marley Nagy's running at first for Allen.
Good catch. Oh, changes tonight. Vogel flew it to left her last trip. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Kelsey Vogel was a fairly expedient trip last time up. Opened the season on a 5-game hit streak, just 1 for 13 cents. On 0-2. Vogel takes outside. Jossie couldn't frame it. Took a big jump last year, did Kelsey Vogel. Went from hitting just 160 to 328. 27 ribbies. Looking for more here on a 1-2. Vogel gets a hold of this one, looping ball shallow center, and Desiderio is over, gets the second out of the inning. Gators try to turn 2 again, come up just short. It's a big second out, Nevada.
Yeah, huge. Good to see Rothrock get that soft contact again. We talked about it earlier. How do you get the cheap outs? Not everything can be a strikeout, and not everything can be a long at bat, and she's able to get soft contact there, flared behind second.
Now it's down to Kaylin McCarthy in the 9 spot, or rather, will we see a pinch hitter? I believe we will. Taylor Shepard will come pinch hit. seen limited action this year. The Mayaca City, Florida native, Mayaca City should say. A senior, did have hits against UMass and North Dakota State in the 6 games she's played in. First toss. She cuts through the first. It's 0-1. Hardest thing doing the sport, come off the bench and pinch hit, especially in this kind of spot. In the 9-hole, trying to turn it over. Rothrock dispenses an 0-1. That goes opposite way, 0-2, 5-0 Gators, top of the 5th, 2 on with 2 gone. Trying to get some pop here, try and turn this order over. North Florida looking to get back into this game. Gators can pull away and end this thing in 5 at the bottom of the 5th if they can keep it here. Teetering point in this game, Rothrock unleashes an 0-2. Shepard takes just outside. Good eye there. It's 1-2. Right now, UNF number 9 in the mid-major rankings. Well, 1-2 from Rothrock will come home. Rothrock's going to call time instead. A 2-strike pitch. Shepard grounds one through the 5-6 hole, base hit. Great lead light at third for Davila, the lead runner. Bases are loaded up full of Ospreys. And the top of the order coming up for North Florida.
Clutch hit by Taylor Shepard right there. Just bounces it through the left side with 2 strikes. That took a wicked hop, too, off the lip of the outfield grass. Heck of a job by McClellan there in left field to get it off the short hop. You don't want to get caught in that in-between hop in the outfield and see that ball skirt by you.
And so this is somebody who you love to have up in this spot. If you're Jeff Conrad, Hallie Langford will step up to the plate. There is maybe a potential twist of irony here. As we had talked about, her husband is Wyatt Langford, former Gator great All-American, now with the Texas Rangers. Bases loaded, 2 gone in the inning. Here's the first. And Langford takes a strike. Is from Trenton, Florida, not too far outside of here, also where Wyatt's from. But more importantly, she is a veteran. Stops at Mercer in USF. An 0-1 pitch. Langford, a big cut for strike 2. Tied second in the A-Sun in hits. A true triple threat according to Jeff Conrad. Great IQ. Ducks on the pond. Rothrock spins an 0-2. Langford takes low and out.
Remember, Langford was another player who played here in the Gainesville Regional. Was 2 for 4 in a couple games against the Gators last season for Lindsay Fico's Mercer Bears.
Is familiar with this ballpark. How about a 1-2? Langford takes strike 3. Keegan Rothrock evades trouble. Bases loaded. No problem for number 7. And the Ospreys, despite just 1 hit in the inning, they leave 3, and we're in the middle of 5. It's Florida by 5 on the Gators Sports Network from Learfield. Reminder to hang out after this one concludes. Box score show on the horizon. Take a look back at this one and a look ahead to tomorrow's matchup in Jacksonville. Gators and Ospreys, first of 2 tonight. And it's Florida by 5 as we make our way to the bottom of the 5th. Gators a chance to just end it here. Brown, McClellan, and Walker scheduled to appear. Ava Brown will lead off. One of the 2 captains of this team is a true glue player. And her personality, how she gels this locker room. today, Brown reached once on a fielder's choice, popped up to short, and she'll try to start the party against these North Florida Ospreys. Cook back in, first pitch. And that's outside for ball one. Ava Brown from Montgomery, Texas originally. As this 1-0 is low and in. Finished last year red hot. 3 home runs out of 7 games in the NCAA tournament. Was hitting plus 300 in her last 10. Expected to fill that void for Reagan Walsh at first base a little more this year. 2-0. Brown will take. That's ball 3.
Gators have a good problem there between Brown and Madison Walker. That's 2 very capable first basemen at filling Reagan's shoes. Big shoes to fill. But
a lot around this entire team. Several All-Americans departing. 3-0. There's a strike on the inner edge. It's 3-1. That was part of the question this year, right? And that's kind of the ever-changing landscape of college softball with the movement in the transfer portal. North Florida is a great example of that. It's a huge asset in filling those gaps. 3-1. Brown will take ball 4. A leadoff walk for the orange and blue. Cassie McClellan will come up with a runner on. She already homered with a 2-run bomb in the 3rd.
Yeah, I wonder how much longer the leash is on Cook, considering that. In fact, Cook has pitched a decent game, just 2 crooked numbers, 4 innings of work, 5 runs, and Matsuno will pinch run here for Brown.
Wouldn't be surprised if possibly she stays in for some defensive duties. So Cassie McClellan, 1 for 2 tonight with the aforementioned bomb. And just 1 home run the prior 2 years combined. Already has 3 this year. And she'll take outside on the 1st. You mentioned earlier the connection to the Gels family. Avery and Kenzie played here, also played for the Tampa Mustangs, as did Cassidy McClellan. 1-0. That's upstairs, ball 2. Her dad was a big factor in help developing her swing, taught her some of her base hitting mechanics. Super fast as a young player, now at the college level. 2-0. McClellan lifts one high in the air. This is a playable pop-up in no man's land. That's clamped in by Simonino. And that's the first out of the inning.
I was real close over there at first base. Matsuno thought that one might drop. I think we all did, Ryan. And she was late getting back, but some hesitation after the catch by Samino.
1 out of the inning for Florida. Gators 5 runs on 7 hits tonight. A 5-0 Gator lead. In this bottom of the 5th, runner at first with 1 gone. First to Walker. That's low, ball 1. Madison Walker is such an interesting pickup for this team. Like we said, trying to maybe fill the void left by some all-time hitters. Corby Otis, Reagan Walsh come to mind. Kendra Falby. 1-0. This is rammed to the air, deep center field, but not the full 220. Langford's got it, and that's the 2nd out of the inning. Madison Walker showing you some of her power, not quite the launch angle necessary. 2 down.
Not much wind to speak of tonight. If that's blowing out, that one has a chance. Good swing by Madison Walker, but a fly out all the same.
Gators looking for some 2-out damage up 5 in the bottom of the 5th. Runner at first to Camille. And that's inside and low. Ball 1 from Taylor Cook, who's had a pretty solid night, I think, all things considered. I know a 5-0 deficit's not ideal for any pitcher, but this is one of the best offenses in the country right now. 1-0. Camille will take an inside corner strike. It's 1-1.
Yeah, 4 walks, 7 hits. I'm surprised that she's only allowed 5 runs. She has limited damage pretty effectively.
Ball and a strike on its way to Camilla. Tags this foul into the netting. It's going to be interesting to watch how this Florida team continues to unveil itself as non-conference goes along. They'll have some big matchups out west. UCLA comes to mind. 1-2. That's upstairs, ball 2. But I think this is genuinely one of the most interesting ones for Florida, taking on a UNF team that right now, if you took it based on who's receiving the most votes outside the top 25, this is the 27th best team in the country, according to the coaches' poll. 2-2. Camilla tags one underneath Vogel and into right center field. Two-out single for Gabby Comia. She's got a multi-hit night.
That's already her 7th multi-hit game of the season. She had 1 all of last year, only 21 starts as a freshman, already starting in every game now as a sophomore. She has really filled a void for the Gators in the middle infield, especially with her versatility and ability to play second and short, and clearly the hitting tool has come a long way as well.
Here's Townsend Thomas, already 2 knocked in tonight. It is worth noting she does represent the game-ending run, had her first career home run dead center 220 this past weekend. Has knocked in 12 this year, a multi-hit night already. Faces Cooks 1-0. Thomas bounds one out to short, underhand to second in time to retire the side as Camilla is the final out of the inning. So the Gators in that frame, no runs on a hit, no errors, 2 left on board. We will see you in the 6th. It's Florida 5 and UNF nothing here on the Gators Sports Network from Learfield and SEC Network Plus.
Need better internet? Cox Internet has the fast, reliable
cool night in the Sunshine State, first of 2 this week between the Florida Gators and the North Florida Ospreys. In this frame, it will be for North Florida 2, 3, and 4 to face Keegan Rothrock, who so far tonight has been in a groove as expected, no runs allowed, and getting out of that bases loaded jam, you know, a green flag from Keegan, of course, someone with experience and working into and out of trouble, giving off the leadoff hit by pitch, walked a batter in that inning, gave up a single to the 9-hole, but still got out unscathed with a great backwards K on Langford.
It's the locations tonight. I mean, they've just been phenomenal. 4 of the 5 strikeouts have been looking Ks for Keegan.
So here's Addie Keefe to lead off. Sack bunt and a 5-pitch walk today. That's outside the zone, ball 1. He's Nevada Cullen. I'm Ryan Urquhart. We'll be back with you on the radio side tomorrow in Jacksonville. Tonight simulcasting on Gators Plus and on SEC Network Plus. Oh, 1-0. Keefe flashes bunt. It's just outside the box, 2-0. Addie Keefe, a very speedy player for North Florida. On 2-0. Keefe rips one foul past Jeff Conrad at third. Leads the ASUN right now in steals, tied second in the league with 15 hits. The Chattanooga State Community College transfer has been a great benefit to this roster so far, even surpassing what this coaching staff had kind of hoped for. 2-1. Keefe floats one into shallow left for a base hit. It's the 3rd for the Ospreys. And they've got some motion on the base paths with nobody out in the 6th.
Yeah, she has clearly transitioned well to Division I. And, you know, sometimes I look at numbers from junior college and, you know, it's not the same as Division I, so you take it with a grain of salt. But last year, 46 stolen bases for Keith. That is not a number to look past.
So she is at first base. Grace Shaw will come up. Backwards can, a fielder's choice she reached on tonight. Pitch. That's outside, ball 1. 5-0 Gators in the lead of North Florida, top of the 6th. Grace Shaw, 382 in her average, a home run, 12 knocked in this year. A second teamer in the ASUN a year ago. On 1-0. Shaw unleashes one deep left, up against the wall. Keefe has the green light at third. She will cruise in on an RBI double for Grace Shaw. Ospreys not done yet in the 6th.
That was pulverized by Shaw, who leads North Florida with now 13 RBI on the year, and she erases the goose egg in the score column for the Ospreys.
First run on the board for North Florida. No shutout tonight. Gators have run ruled 4 straight in this series. Ospreys trying to avoid that. Here's Bella Samino. Samino should say. 0 for 2 today. Grounded into a 6-4-3 double play last time up. A little adversity for Keegan Rothrock in the top of the 6th. Ospreys off to their best start in Division I history as a program, 1-0. And Samino stares down the first. Samino, one of the better hitters in this lineup. And again, a transfer addition on a 1-0. Did see Rothrock last year in that Gainesville Regional. Was a bit of an odd game, was very back and forth before Florida eventually pulled away down the stretch. But when you get someone all conference out of the American, it's a good pickup. 2-0 is swatted high in the air. Deep left center, gone! A second this year for Bella Samino. Ospreys take flight, and they're right back in it.
She's making a name for herself in Jacksonville. Samino has started to build a reputation of clutch home runs. First homer as an Osprey was on Saturday against Princeton. It was a game-tying 2-run shot in the 5th. Well, here it's a 6th inning blast that makes it a 2-run game. It's a monumental swing for UNF.
So suddenly a 2-run blast, and the Gators a little bit of trouble here. It's a 2-run game, and still nobody out. Tying run on deck. First, it's Caden Oliva. And the first upstairs from Rothrock. There is some motion in the Florida bullpen. Ospreys looking for their first ever win against the Florida Gators. 1-0. Oliva will take upstairs. And after 2 out of the zone, on the heels of a 2-run blast and an RBI double, Stephanie Van Brakel-Prothro will come out for another conversation. Well, last time it was effective, but talk about mechanics, you talk about mentality here, whatever the message. Gators 6 outs to get from a victory, but what was once a comfy 5-0 cushion has been erased, and third time through has been the charm for North Florida.
Yeah, we were thinking run rule not long ago, but this middle of the order for North Florida, Jeff Conrad said it to us, Ryan, this maybe is a better team top to bottom, especially offensively, than last year. Yes, they don't have Allison Benning. They don't have a few other big contributors like Lauren Brock or Mackenzie Woods or a Hadley Reichert and Kirsten Caravaca as well, who transferred to Michigan State, the catcher. But they still have a lot of pieces, some impact transfers, and Bella Samino's 2-run home run. She's just one of several transfers who has stepped up in a large way for this Osprey team.
After the meeting, a 2-0. That's a strike. Keegan's back on track. It's 2-1. Gators 5, Ospreys 3 in the top of the 6th. 3 straight hits out of the gate to start the frame for UNF. On 2-1. Oliva grounds one up the middle. It's bobbled. Throw to first is still in time. Oliva wants a review. For now, Gabby Comia's throw to first is enough for the out.
It's a no-brainer in terms of a challenge. Jeff Conrad instantly goes to the ears.
UNF is challenging the safe out first base. The plays under review.
So we will look at a safe out call at first base. We have the benefit of being simulcasted tonight, so a chance to look on the replay monitor here, if possible. But even if not, Gators a 2-run lead here, also get a pause in this game. To me, naked eye looked like she was out.
I agree, and I think regardless of the call, a nice job by Gabby Comia. They're just knocking the ball down and staying with the play.
How many times have we seen Kenley Cahalan do that at third or shortstop? And Comia, showing off her ability defensively and her calmness on that play.
It's North Florida team aspirations, not aspirations.
Oh,
not
I see what you did there.
I promise it wasn't intentional. But with, we can roll with it, aspirations to knock off Florida in their 19th all-time meeting. Gators 18-0 all-time. Closest they've ever gotten was actually that 2015 team that eventually won the national championship, went to 8 innings. UFA's run ruled in 4 straight. Doesn't look like that will be the case, at least to this point tonight. Florida has not scored since the 3rd. Right now, 3 unanswered runs in the 6th. North Florida hoping that this video review can overturn the call at first and give them a tying run to the plate with only 1 out in the top of the 6th.
And regardless, for the Gators, it buys more time for, I would assume, Ava Brown to get loose out in the bullpen.
So
I see
we
Olivia
saw
Miller,
it on the. We just saw it on the jumbotron. It was initially picked up by Camilla, bobbled. Then on the throw to first, it's a really close play. They do have what's called the Hawkeye system here. It provides some extra looks, uniquely set up to help with these exact kind of reviews. Gators 5, Ospreys 3, top of the 6th. And third base umpire Miguel Burgos. Rather, this will be Anthony Small. Will loop us in.
Review. The ruling is confirmed. Play.
So the language there, call is confirmed. So that means that there was video evidence definitively proving that Oliva was out at first base.
And close enough to challenge. That's just such a big spot in the game. And that's more what the review system should be for, is for challenging big plays in big spots.
Here is Davila. First pitch, she swings away wide of third into the Gator dugout. It's 0-1. Florida 5, Ospreys 3 in this top of the 6th. Hannah Davila doubled and walked tonight. Time has been called. Coach Walton.
I think a new softball, maybe. That's my guess.
Coach Walton's about a third of the way out of the dugout, saying something to the
umpire's in the wrong spot there.
That's Coach Walton. He's a master of the rules and of the game. Pointed out that umpires needed to be at first and third. All right, here's an 0-1. Davila chases in the dirt. It's 0-2 on the 100th delivery from Keegan Rothrock. There's one thing you can say tonight. North Florida has made number 7 work. A lot of full count situations. In this one, though, it's an 0-2. Davila cuts on in for strike 3. It's the 6th for Rothrock, and a big second out in the 6th.
Great pitch. Good movement on it. Rothrock up to 6 Ks. And she, after giving up 3 straight hits to start this 6th, is an out away from sending this game to the bottom of the 6th with the Gators ahead by 2.
Gators will insurance shop potentially. Here's Aiden Allen. First pitch is a strike. It's 0-1. 2 gone. Gators 5, Ospreys 3, away 6th. Rocks and an 0-1 pitch. That misses outside into Jossie's orange glove. It's 1-1. Well, I know what Coach Stephanie Van Brakel-Prothro said in that meeting, but since then, ground out, strike out. After 3 straight hits to start the inning. 1 a double, 1 a homer. 1-1. Allen swings, mashes one into the netting. 1 strike away from getting out of this inning without any further damage. One ball and 2 strikes on the righty Allen. Rothrock's 1-2. Allen ropes one into center field. Thomas, a few steps back, has got it. And that will retire the side. We got ourselves a ball game going to the bottom of the 6th. Florida 5 and North Florida 3. The Ospreys with aspirations for their first ever win over the Florida Gators on the Gators Sports Network from Learfield. This is Gator Softball.
Time to act for the greener good. UF
this week, Gators and Ospreys. East Nevada Cullen, I'm Ryan Urquhart on our SEC Network Plus simulcast tonight with radio. Top of the Florida order to Insurance Shop at the bottom of the 6th against Cook. And the first pitch is downstairs, ball 1. Shoemaker, rare 0 for 3 tonight. Always ominous when somebody with that much pop is frankly due. Here's a 1-0. Shoemaker takes a strike. It's 1-1. Not making the accolades she doesn't have. Coach Walton had said one of the best swings I ever seen. Her former travel ball teammate right behind her in the 2 spot. 1-1. Shoemaker takes underneath. That's a ball. Coach Walton had said when she came here, one of the best swings I've ever seen. 2-1. Shoemaker takes a strike. It's 2-2. She said that she put a lot of effort to it when she was growing up, especially in travel ball, very focused on the lower half, try not to think about the hands. 2-2. Says she loves to hit. It's so fun to her as that's fouled off, stays 2-2. But also now taking on a bigger role in Florida's outfield is the only returner. Lost Kendra Falvey, Corby Otis. Went from the new kid on the block to, well, the only kid returning on the block. Another 2-2. Way up top, over the top of the helmet of the tricolor variety for Taylor Shoemaker. That's ball 3. But also had talked about just doesn't want to be known as only a hitter, also wants to be known for quality defense, having an in-sync outfield. Feels like they've had great chemistry in the preseason. Payoff pitch. Shoemaker chops one back up the middle. That leaks through past 2 Ospreys for a base hit. Taylor Shoemaker, a leadoff single in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, it's. I think when you don't have your stuff as a hitter, it's not quite like a pitcher where it's like, all right, how do you get outs even when you don't have your A stuff? But maybe sometimes it's, maybe if you're not having your best night, how do you still get hits? And for Shoemaker, it's falling back on those great mechanics that you talked about, and she just bangs one up the middle right there.
So induce a conversation for North Florida in the circle, and that will do it for Taylor Cook, who tonight pitched very well, but that'll be it for her. North Florida will bring in a new pitcher. We'll take a step aside with the change in the circle. This pitching change brought to you by Meldon Law. They won't back down, the only official law partner of the Florida Gators. Kate Peters is in the circle. Nevada has more on her when we return.
When you're on the move and looking for nonstop
And Jeff Conrad saw that ASUN experience with Lipscomb as a huge benefit in getting this veteran pitcher from the portal.
Yeah, Cook still responsible for the runner at first, but overall kept Florida in check somewhat for the most part, enough for the Ospreys to battle back to a 2-run game, 5 innings, 9 hits, 5 runs. Again, still responsible for 1 at first, 4 walks and no Ks. Here is Jocelyn Erickson to face the new Armin Peters. She'll jab her foot and misses inside, ball 1. Florida 5, Ospreys 3. We'll do it all again tomorrow, same time, 5:40 start to our coverage on the Gators Sports Network from Learfield. Shoemaker at first for a 1-0. Erickson, stomp of the foot. It's outside, ball 2. Jossie tonight, RBI single. Also a walk, did reach on a fielder's choice here last trip. 2-0. Erickson pounds one into the netting. It's 2-1. The other captain alongside Ava Brown. Last year, the numbers not quite as astronomically insane as when she was the All-American unanimously. 2-1. Jossie will take a darting ball outside here, 3-1. But Coach Walnut said it, you take that year, put it in a silo. She still had one of the best years in the country. Was still elite at a different level. Didn't see as many pitches to hit, too. 3-1. Erickson takes a strike. Tried to take off the arm guard. Instead, a full count. Now in her senior season, goals of winning a national championship. Payoff pitch. Erickson sends one skyward into center. Out of here. Erickson's 4th home run in 13 games provides some cushion in the 6th.
And lately, Jossie's been providing more cushion than a couch. Jossie, Georgia Tech game on Friday, had that 6th inning 2-run shot to right center field. This time she goes the opposite way to left center. Plenty of charge on that one. Clearly, she prepared well for Peters, because even though North Florida goes to the bullpen, first batter that Peters faces goes yard, and Erickson grabs her 4th homer of 2026.
That one was sent a country mile into center. Florida 7, Ospreys 3 in the bottom of the 6th. And boy, what a statement against a new arm. Take that all the way past midway up the scoreboard. And for Jocelyn Erickson, at a multi-home run game last week, 3 of her 4 home runs have come in the last 5 days. And boy, that is just tough. You come in as a new arm and immediately have to face one of the best hitters in the SEC in Jocelyn Erickson. And now you have to face one of Florida's best new bats in Kendall Grover. 7-3 Gators as the first whistles in for a strike. Nothing in 1. Bottom of the 6th. Florida's 10th hit is a 2-run blast from Jocelyn Erickson. RBIs 16 and 17 this year. Twisted in 0-1. This is Desiderio, beg your pardon, in place of Kendall Grover. Julia Desiderio, South Carolina transfer. And 0-2. Hacks through this one, and that's strike 3. First out of the inning. It's a quick trip for Desiderio.
Good bounce back there from Peters after giving up the 2-run shot. Able to go high and in on Desiderio. That's where Peters is trying to attack against righties.
You said it, bounced back in a big way. Here is Kenley Cahalan. On the first pitch, a fly ball into shallow right. And Shaw has got it. That'll be the second out of the inning. So quickly after the home run, 2 quick outs for Peters out of the bullpen.
Yeah, that strikeout for Desiderio was the first Gator strikeout today. So Peters, some efficiency after giving up the homer.
And brings in Ava Brown with 2 outs. Nobody on for the Gators. 7-3. Florida in front in the bottom of the 6th. Gators back in front by 4 runs after UNF battled back with 3 in the top half.
Brown here re-entering for Matsuno.
I think if you want to try and find green flags this time of the year, the way this team responds is one of them. First pitch is in for a strike. I mean, you look back at the Marshall and FIU games this weekend. Gators went down early, got instantaneous responses basically. Challenged by Georgia Tech in 2 games. Florida both times found big swings. 0-1. There's a strike. No, rather a ball, beg your pardon. It's 1-1.
And one of those big swings from Ava. She had the go-ahead homer in the first inning against FIU, so it was a 3-run homer. It was early, but still a big swing that changed the momentum of the game at the time.
Ball and a strike en route. Brown will take. That's low. Ball 2.
I think it's actually something that both these teams have in common early this season. Maybe some closer results than they'd like. I know North Florida had a few that they had to squeeze out, like that walk-off win against Stony Brook.
2-1 is rammed on a line into shallow left. Dunks down, base hit. Ava Brown, her first hit of the ball game. 2 outs in the 6th. Gators have a base runner.
Nice piece of hitting by Ava. Just dropping it into left field. She's had a positive start to the season offensively.
Brings in Cassidy McClellan. 2-run blast in the 3rd. Gators at this point grabbing some insurance before the start of the 7th. 3 outs away from a win. Pitch. McClellan will take a strike. It's 0-1. McClellan's played sparingly last 2 years. Missed half a year with injury. 41 games she did play in. Started 13 of them. 0-1. McClellan will take a strike. Now an everyday starter in left field. Had a really good fall, according to Coach Walton. He said, look, too, she was competing with an incredibly crowded outfield. 3 All-Americans out there. 0-2. McClellan cuts on a foul tip into the glove for strike 3, and that will retire the side. Gators in that inning, they'll buy some insurance. Jocelyn Erickson knocks it out of the yard for the 4th time this year. And when it lands, it's Florida 7 and UNF 3. On to the final scheduled frame. From Learfield, this is Florida Softball.
Need better internet?
On this beautiful night in KDC Show Presley Stadium, we make our way to the top of the 7th. The number 4 Florida Gators 7 and the Ospreys 3. Number 5 in the latest ESPN polls. Gators looking to go to 13-0, win their 19th straight against North Florida. Keegan Rothrock's back in the circle, try and close this out. And Nevada, it's maybe a little up and down, some turbulence in the 6th, but Keegan works out of trouble in order after maybe some bumps there. 3 hits, but then 3 straight outs. Now 8-9-1 to close it out.
Yeah, trying to go complete for the 3rd time this year, and she has the 6 Ks, so got her good stuff tonight. Just 1 bad inning.
First to Vogel, cut on as she evades the bat for strike 1. Gators 7, Ospreys 3, top of the 7th. Vogel tonight 0 for 2. On the next. Couldn't frame it, 1-1. I mentioned this earlier, but Kelsey Vogel was on fire to start the year. 5-game hit streak, but now just 1 for her last 14. 1-1. Vogel rips 1 foul outside of 3rd. And you would expect by law of averages that's going to rise over time. Everybody goes through their ebbs and flows throughout the year, but huge improvement last year. Her average jumping up plus 300. Coming off an 0 for 3 game against Stony Brook. Rothrock's 1-2. This is popped up and playable. It's Jocelyn Erickson over for the first out of the 7th. And now Kaylin McCarthy at the 9th spot. Ospreys running out of outs here in the 7th. Will be interesting, too, to see, Nevada, how UNF responds if this one indeed holds. Played competitive with the top 5 team tonight. Coach Conrad had said this is somewhat of a measuring stick game. First two, McCarthy is in the zone for a strike and a half.
Yeah, looking forward to tomorrow when North Florida hosts Florida. I think they're going to draw on this game and their win over Auburn on opening day to try to spring an upset.
0-1. McCarthy jettisons one down the left field line. McClellan ranges over to her right and makes the catch. Gators are 1 out away. They get 8 and 9 in the order.
Yeah, bottom line is, I don't think anybody is surprised that this was, a close game at some point because of how North Florida's been looked at this season and the way they've played and how they unruled Auburn in their opener. And I think we can expect more of the same tomorrow in Jacksonville.
We'll have start of your coverage for you at 5:40 p.m. Eastern Time on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield. BB and Nevada again. As Keegan Rothrock trying to close things out. First two, Hallie Langford is bounced out to short. This could do it. And Florida knocks off North Florida 7-3, the final score in KSP. Ground out to end the game. Keegan Rothrock finishes on a high note, facing the minimum in a night where Rothrock strikes out 6 en route to another victory.
That's her third complete game of the year. Keegan Rothrock, again, we talked about it, showing the good stuff, striking out a lot of hitters, and 6 more strikeouts today, with 4 of those being looking Ks.
Keegan Rothrock gets the win. She is 6-0. Cook will get the loss. She is 2-1. Box Score Show is next. Big thank you to those who watched along on SEC Network Plus tonight. Enjoy the rest of your evening. On the radio side, we will see you in the postgame show. From Learfield, this is Florida Softball.